Jesus always invited people to eat. So, as he said, this is the last speaker, and after me is food. What came early was only the starter. Food is coming. So, as Vikas was introducing the whole meeting, he said, no, there is prophecy around, isn't it? The singer is prophetic, people are being prophetic. I was just watching, when Grace Moon said, she talked about Parapat, 1957. And 60 years later, last year, they met together again in Myanmar, celebrating 60 years of a movement which started from a few young people sitting together like this, saying, we should do something for Asia. Okay? And then somebody said, Roger said much before that, there were young people who said, we are graduating and we should do something for the world. And they started the student volunteer movement, 1912 the SCM, and we celebrated the centenary of SCM where he was the leader there. And then 2 years later, the centenary of the NCC India, 100 years of wonderful work. Now, 9th of May, 2028. When is that? After 10 years. Yes. Is that it? Will somebody talk about a meeting in Umi? A hotel called Umi, where young people of Nepal came together. Okay? And then coming together, they said, we must do something. Okay? All movements started like this. I was asked to talk about SAKIN, the South Asia Christian Youth Network. The Church of South India, one of the largest churches in India, at one point of their time reviewed 60 years of its life. So 60 years they said, well, we have done many things, but one thing we missed was we didn't have a full-time youth department. So they said the church is incomplete without the young people. So, and then they decided to appoint a person full-time youth, and I was the first full-time youth secretary of the Church of South India, 60 years of review. Okay? And when Church of South India youth all over the world met together, we said we should connect to other churches. So NCC India was one forum, but then we had an invitation from this organization called CMS, the Church Mission Society, who had done mission work earlier, gone back. But said, can young people from Asia come to a program called Everywhere to Everywhere? So we asked, where is this program? So I was just getting married, and they invited me to the program to E in London. Okay? And I was, when you get married, your wife is there. So, but I still agreed to do the Bible studies. But the biggest surprise was, in the delegation was my wife also. So that was immediately after our marriage. We went to London, but there was young people from all the South Asian countries. They had invited 2 people each. And in the River Thames in the year 2000, they asked one question. Why should South Asian always meet in Europe? Why can't we meet in Asia, in South Asia? That was what triggered the South Asia Christian Youth Network, the first thoughts. So Adrian Watkins was then the person in charge. I was the CSI Youth Secretary, and from Nepal we had, as he mentioned, Simon Pandey, who had already connections with CMS. Quite a lot of people said together, and said, young people will meet together, and in 2002 we met in Sri Lanka. So every church said, we CSI had 21 dioceses, we said one from each diocese. So, and then several CNI said, so where do the money come from? The CCA came in, the WCC came in, and they said, we will sponsor the tickets. So Matthews, who was with the WCC then, gave tickets to most of the people to come, and they facilitated this meeting, the South Asia Christian Youth Network. Normally meetings are over at that day, isn't it? But then we said we should meet again, because that was the first time several Indians saw and touched a Pakistani. We only heard about Pakistan. And then we celebrated. Nepal, I tell you, all of them said, first time in life we are seeing the sea. They've never seen the sea, and it's at a beach in Sri Lanka, and all of them were all the time in the sea. So it was everything had something special. And we said, we should meet again. We should meet again. And that is the beauty of this network. Ever since 2002, every year we have met. Where did the money come from? We didn't know. But in 2002 to 2017, we published a book called 15 Years of SAKIN. Just one small meeting like this created a network. And like Vikas said, several of young people across became part of it. I've seen several of you there. Prashansa was there in Sri Lanka. Both of them were there in Sri Lanka. Nepal gave leadership to it, and again coming back. From the next 3 years, Prashansa is going to lead the network. So Nepal is going to lead this network across, not only for you, but across South Asia. So that is the beauty of this network. And we keep meeting. As I said, there's no organization. Nobody knows who it is. And my daughter told me last week, saying, the Archbishop invited young people for a meeting. So I took her to the meeting and she told me as we got up, Appa, I am youth, not you. So I am going to stay and you're going to go. Okay. So that's why they put this new name, advisor, there, telling us you're no longer youth but only an advisor. Second part of it. Well, the prophecy, as you rightly said, okay, great things can happen in this country. Now, immediately my thought went to Ezekiel chapter 37, 2 images. Several bones are there. And then the prophet is asked, will these bones come together? And you say, Nepal, NCC, NCCP, NCCA, NCCB, NCCC, NCCD, this is Nepal. Everybody split into different things. Will it come together? The prophet looked at and said, not an easy task. But he said, you know, O Lord, because there is nothing that is impossible of the Spirit. And then he said, prophecy, and it will happen. What happened? All the bones in the different places, it started coming together and formed into the body. Okay? Then the sinews came, the veins came, the flesh came, the skin came. And he said, now breathe. And what happened? And where did it happen? It happened in the center of a valley. And here again in the center of a valley, you have said bones can come together. Okay? And when you celebrate together, we might think, May 9th of Umi. Right? And after that he says, well, after that what happens? Take 2 stones, 2 sticks, write in one part of the divided world, write in the other part of the divided world, the second part of Ezekiel 37. And the prophet looked at God, what to do? And he said, maybe to Bigas, maybe to one of you. He said, put it together, show the world. Now you might look divided, but coming together is in the will and purpose of God and is possible. And that's the call for all of us. It is possible for us. And when Prashansa is going to lead the South Asia Youth Movement, it is going to be with another person, not from India or Pakistan, or it's from Myanmar. It's going to Nepal and Myanmar going to lead the South Asia Youth Movement. In itself is symbolic for the future. And now Grace says, come, CCA is open. So last month they had 350 young people. 4 of you who are here were part of it. Much more is possible. And from Melbourne, when we come in, we said several Nepalese around us, in Melbourne, in Sydney around us. The whole world is looking for it. And I was told, before you close, you must tell a story I told in Nepal in 2004. Somebody remembered that story and said, that story has helped us quite a lot. So say that story and close. And I never close without giving you a gift. I'll always give you a gift. Okay, the story is like this. Now there was, this bird called the crow. You have seen it? Yeah. Okay. This crow was very jealous because the doves, the pigeons, could always go inside the house. And the crow could never go. So when the crow goes in, what happens? The mother will take a stone, throw it at the crow, and the crow had to go away. The crow said, this is unfair, so I must do something about it. Like many of us, when you come to Christian life, why am I not part of that group? I must be part of the Christian youth group. So what did this bird do? This bird went into this whole group and then rolled over the ashes, took the whole shape of a crow and started coming into the group. After some time, there was a group of crows flying away. What sound does they make? This crow naturally, exactly that. And then clang came the throw. And the crow learned its first lesson in life. What is that? Your chalk can betray you. That's true in Christian life also, isn't it? You act as a Christian, but your chalk can betray you. So this time, the crow said, I will keep quiet. Come what may, I am not going to speak or talk. Went again. Okay, went again. And this time, how does the dove walk? One step at a time. See it? How does the crow walk? It jumps. It starts, and the mother looked at some time. Came the next throw. Bang to its head. Second lesson in life. Your walk will betray you. Okay? Your walk will betray you. So this time we decided, go to a coach, learn the dove walk. Okay? Very difficult, but it learned. Learn the dove walk. Okay? No talking, dove walking. He came back to the group. Came back to the group, and this time, walking around, there was a dead rat on the corner. This thing, all these funny doves, good food on the corner, not eating. So it went there, first peck, what happened? Clank, throw. Many a times, your taste betrays you. And that's my message for you. Your walk, your talk, your taste. If you're careful, you can do wonders for Nepal. I'll ask for the gift box from Melbourne, which will come to all of you. This is a small memento to remind you were part of this meeting. Okay? And then maybe 10 years later, take a look at that. It was that day this happened. Request we read to the organizer of the meeting, Vikas. This is a small clock, okay, which has Australia there, but will remind you time is ticking, do it fast. Australia is known for its koalas, and the beauty about koala and the kangaroo is koalas is the only animal in the world that sleeps 23 hours a day. It wakes up only to eat and then sleeps again. But maybe it does something else, that's why they have kids also coming in. So koalas will come to you, reminding you, don't sleep. Okay. And can I pass this on to you? Okay, so it will come passing by. Take one. Okay.